literally out in the bay, snooping around right now. King salmon, and I'm going to see what happens. I don't have my shark shield on yet, and I'm just gonna see what I can find. But it is completely calm, completely flat, and it's at least 6 foot of viz everywhere. Here's my float. My buoy's got a little glow stick in it. Super cool. I've got a light on myself. And my dive buddies are already having fun. Alright, I'm gonna see what happens. Alright, it's recording. Just hold it for a second. And we'll get there. And hopefully in the future when I edit, I'll have audio that I can use. So people that watch videos can get some insight into. It's almost like it's more exciting driving there talking about it than it is actually.
It would be better if it was a clear sky and full moon, but...
Well, Steve said, he's like, oh, 6 to 8 foot viz. He's like, he specifically said first thing, it was better than yesterday.
Oh, today?
Yeah, right now. On his way back from work, he stopped by at like 6:30 or something at the ocean.
Okay.
And went to where we're gonna go, walked out, and that was the jetty.
Yeah, right.
And looked in the water with a flashlight.
Okay.
And he said it was 6 to 8 foot viz.
Nice.
Which is
way better.
400 times more viz, 400% more viz than we had. So.
Well, just being like a newer diver, like when you go to dive down and I don't know how far down I am, but like, say you're like 6 to 8 feet down and you literally still can't see anything, you're like, well, how long do, especially when you're not good at holding your breath, you're not quite there, you have to
have
you
faith
don't know
that the bottom is there.
Well, yeah, exactly. It's like, well, at some point I'm going to turn around, and you always have more time than you think, but it's definitely just, it's head games. You gotta just you gotta get comfortable with the unknown.
That's what we deal with here. That's why Jesse Bear was so good when he first started in the ocean. He wasn't afraid of the dark.
Yeah.
He is not afraid of the dark at all. And so, I follow him down, like literally when he first started diving in the jetty in Humboldt County, and he would drop down on holes and caves like he'd been doing it for 5 years.
Right.
And so a normal person is hesitant when it comes to diving into 4 foot visibility and who knows how deep water. And
sure.
I mean, didn't you bonk your head yesterday? Because you're like, you can't see.
Well, I did that, and then I actually got an urchin spine. I took off my wetsuit, and I'm like, oh, what's it? And it was like still like quarter inch long. I'm like,
the trick is you get an acid, really mild acid, like vinegar or something, right? Or I mean, vinegar is supposed to be in it, but if you pour that on there, and that dissolves the urchin spine enough that it doesn't stick. Cause
I just pulled it out. I mean, it did not want to come out, but
Yeah, I dig them out. If not, it takes me about 8 months for my body to dissolve, and then for the little scar tissue tumor to go away. It takes me about 8 months. I'll have little balls in my skin.
Well, I'll have to take a closer look because I couldn't tell if I didn't know if it broke off because they have little barbs on them.
They're brittle.
Yeah.
They're super brittle, and it's not that they have barbs, but they're actually alive.
Sure.
Like there's tissue in them, so they're porous. So under the microscope, the edges of the urchin is
clean,
like a sponge.
Yeah.
Like it's not smooth, so they don't pull out. And then your body, whenever it gets punctured, it naturally tries to close it.
Sure.
So you don't bleed out.
Right.
And so your body closes tight around urchin. And then when you try to pull Didn't you dive there with me?
We went there. Remember I got a bunch of rock crab.
Yeah.
There was rock crab everywhere.
Yeah. Like when I went the other day and I was
liked diving there. I mean, it was shallow and mild, and I mean there wasn't, there's not a lot of structure or nothing. Like there's definitely going to be less fish population, but
there's stuff there.
It's just like very user friendly.
Yeah. And even though it's going to be high tide, it's still not going to be. Well, there are some deeper spots, but it's still not. It's still not deep.
No.
It's a huge place. It's just super shallow. Low tide is like 3 feet.
Yeah.
And then at high tide, it might be 10 feet.
Yeah.
So we're gonna.
It's not deep.
We got a couple places, and when I went the other day, I actually spotlighted with the flashlight at night at least one legal Dungeness and 18 inches of water.
Yeah.
On the shore, because it was night. They crawl all over. So
sure.
I was excited to go, and the crabbing has been so good. I'm hoping that.
Yeah, I just gave away 4 of mine, so hopefully.
Yeah.
I was dropping Lane Brooks' kid off at practice, and one of the moms.
When it rains, it pours.
I know her really well. Like we're super tight. And I was like, hey, hey, you want some crab? And she's like, you got some crab? And I just lifted up the bag. I'm like, you gotta eat them tonight or tomorrow. Like, I was gonna go home and crack them, but I'm gonna go diving right now and try to get some more, so I don't need them. And she's like, you're gonna go diving right now? I'm like, yeah.
There's one guy I know that doesn't care.
Well, I was kind of in a hurry, so I didn't really elaborate too much. But yeah, he's just like, here you go. Hopefully they don't make you sick and stuff.
Diving at night is pretty rare. I think. I mean, in Humboldt County, the only other person I know that is just doesn't matter would be Kevin Butler. But I think he dives more than pretty much anybody around here.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter what time of day or when. If the going is good, then he'll go.
Sure.
And what the definition of good is for Humboldt County is very not good. So he dives a lot.
Yeah.
If we get there and it's a solid, like a clear 6 foot and maybe cloudy, I'm gonna be incredibly happy, because there's a lot of places we can dive that are 6 foot or less deep where there's eelgrass, which I'm hoping we can just swim and see crabs in the bottom. But I don't know. We'll see. Who knows? It might be epic. It might be clear. We might just do nothing but shoot fish.
Sure.
I'm hoping we see starry flounder. So starry flounder looks like a halibut.
Sure. Yeah.
Except it's way smaller. And
Yeah.
it has like this really charcoal yellow bars on its fence, on the outside perimeter of its fence. So you'll see this thing that looks like a halibut, and it's got yellowy kind of looking perimeter bars on its fence. That's a starry flounder.
They just lay in the sand, right?
They just lay around and they don't do anything. You can catch them with your hands. If you're in a position where you can lunge on them, you can just snatch them. They're really mild. I mean, sharks eat them as how, because they don't do anything.
I just don't know how you'd get a grip on it though.
Just donkey punch them in the mud. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, they can only go forward, right? All fish can only go forward.
Yeah.
So when you grab them, grab their nose.
Yeah.
On the other hand, grab them anywhere. And then that's it.
Fish can only go forward.
Fish, I mean, if you were to grab a fish or poke it with your spear gun, they fin as quick as they can, which propels them forward.
Right.
So when I catch lings barehanded, I just cup their nose with one hand and then bear hug them with the other hand.
You've caught lings barehanded?
Lots and lots and lots of lings.
Wait, what?
Yeah, because if they're in the rocks,
Yeah.
and like for example, if they're in a crack, right?
Yeah.
Then they can't turn.
Sure.
You get your hand and you like cup it over their beak, and then grab them. Then it's all over with.
So you just swim to the top of them?
Yeah, you just bear hug them and then keep your hand over their nose. Because if not, they're going to be powering out. If you take your hand off the front of their face, they're going to shoot out like polywog.
And then when you get to the top, you rip the gills out, or what?
It's really hard to hold on to them. So if you get to the top and you still got them, you just sit there and like hold on to them until you feel them kind of give up for a second.
Yeah.
And you try to like manipulate manipulate your fingers into their gills, and then you got them.
Yeah.
But there's no, when you grab them like that, they hold their mouths shut really tight. Like I've caught cabezone before too, but I've lost a lot of cabezone trying to catch them barehanded.
Wow.
And because cabezone, they're very hard to get your hands in their gills. Your fingers, like poke your fingers in their gills. So cabezone are more difficult. And then I don't catch rock like blacks because they're so spiny. You're gonna get spined. But lings and cabs are basically frogs. They have no defense.
Except their teeth.
Except when they bite you. But they have to be pretty big before they bite you. Like 20 plus pounds, 25, 30 pounds. Then you have to be cognizant of biting. But they'll only bite you first. If you attack them first, then they probably won't bite you. Probably. So I think it's what we'll do now that we're here at King Salmon. We're just gonna like just run over and look at the water real quick. Or do you want to just do it?
Whatever, man.
Yeah, let's just.
You're the expert.
Might as well just run over and look. We'll run over and look and see what it's like. Camera doesn't get to go because I'll never find it if we drop it in this place. Of course, can't see anything, which is fine. Just put it up there, see how it works. Hopefully I don't get too much engine noise or something. Well, I would definitely do it again.
Yeah.
Maybe get some sleep before I do it again.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I haven't slept good tonight.
Yeah. I'm gonna go hook up on the AquaCare and then hopefully I'll sleep super good. But I
just fucking bummed I lost all this crap.
I was thinking that during the daytime, I don't think there was any difference in fish or crabs or anything. It seems like the daytime I saw the same things in the same amount, the same places. I didn't think there was a difference.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe those Dungeness, because that first Dungeness I caught was buried. I barely saw it.
Sure.
And then the places where we got them, my biggest one in the rocks, I mean, yeah, they get stuck in the rocks. I always find them in the rocks. Well, I don't always, but I just didn't get the feeling that it was like, oh wow, it's way better at night. It's just the same, it's just the same ocean.
Yeah. It's just a different vibe because it's dark.
But the water was so good and it was so calm.
Yeah.
That made it.
Yeah.
That was. I couldn't stop thinking though, if it was summertime and there was halibut